Hi, everybody. Welcome along to episode 135 of Percussion Discussion. Please check out our social media. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, and of course, our world famous YouTube channel where you can find the video to accompany all of our conversations. Please subscribe. You won't find any adverts on there, so it's should be pretty plain sailing watching the videos, but it just helps grow the channel. So if you wouldn't mind, it takes a second. Thank you very much. If you'd rather listen on the go, then this is no problem. All of our conversations are available in podcast form. These are free to download from your favorite podcast provider. All the usual suspects are in there. So if that's your thing, you know what to do. Please rate and review if you can find out how to do it. It can get a bit complicated sometimes. So if you can, I'd really appreciate it once again. On to today's guest, an amazing, amazing drummer. She hails from Sweden, and she's currently on tour with like Zara Larsson. Um, and she has an incredible groove, this lady. She really does. She really lays it down, and I'm a massive fan of her playing. She's played over the years for some incredible artists from her native Sweden. Perhaps we wouldn't know the names over here, but some huge artists. And the great news is she's going to be playing on the main stage at the UK Drum Show this year. This is 2024, by the way, just in case you're watching this in 5 years' time. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome the remarkably talented Lina Anderberg. Lina, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Oh, it's great to have you here. I know you're a very busy drummer, so I really appreciate it. So what are you up to at the moment? Are you keeping busy just now?
Yeah. Currently, I'm going to actually going to Dubai in like 2 days to do a show. And never been there, so I'm excited about playing there. I think it's gonna be wonderful with some heat and some sun. And yeah, then we start rehearsals, and then it's summer tour, and yeah, it's been busy. The spring has been busy as well. So now it's like the last couple of shows from the spring transitioning into the rehearsals for the summer. So
Absolutely
it's
amazing. So is this with Zara Larsson then?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's so yeah. Did you say you go? Where did you say you're going to? Was it Dubai?
Yeah, Dubai.
And you're over in your native Sweden at the moment. How cold is it over there?
It was pretty nice today, actually. I think I had my winter jacket on, but I mean, we always have to wear that, even in the summer. I think maybe 8 degrees. It's
Oh,
getting
that's
warmer, so I like it.
almost summer like.
It's like summer, so it doesn't get better than this.
So do you adjust well when you go to countries like that, hotter or colder? I'm sure isn't a problem.
I love the heat. I'm like I was born in the wrong climate. I'm made for the sun, honestly. I love it. I get so much energy and I just love the sun so much. So I adjust very well, more than well, to the heat. And the coldness, yeah, Sweden, it's like so cold. So anywhere we go, it's not much colder anyway. So
Do you tell me? Do you ever get used to the cold?
no,
You don't.
no, I freeze about 10 months a year,
Wow. Oh, that's no. It's not for me. That
freezing all the time.
no, definitely not. But there we go. You can't help where you're born, can you? That's that.
No, I can't help that, but I can change it.
Well, I'm sure you'll be all right in a few days' time in Dubai anyway. So
Yeah,
look,
that's true.
tell us, Lena, what was your kind of introduction into music and drums? Because kind of first memories of music, if you like, because you're very young, so it can't be that long ago. Um,
That that's very sweet of you. Um, Actually, I started pretty late, I would say. I was about 12 or 13, and I was in school and we had music class. Music class, where I'm from, it's you have two speakers and a karaoke song, and you get the lyrics and you sing. I don't have any musical background. Like I didn't even know what drums was, honestly. And then one time we had a sub in, and he was like, "You gotta try to play all the instruments." And then it was like this poor little drum set that haven't been touched since like 1975, and like, a bass. And so we tried each instrument, and I just remember trying the drums and something happened. It was like guitar was boring, bass was boring, absolutely not singing. So when I sat behind the drums, it was like, what is this? Is this like an instrument? I got, the first beat pretty fast. I was like, what just happened? I was all into horses, nothing with music. So, but then I remember the first song I wanted to learn on the drums was Sabachu with Metallica. I never got through the whole song, but I just wanted to play like the intro because at that time I started to get into like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, this like rock music. And but unfortunately it took some years for me to actually pick up the drums because I was from a very small, like you can almost call it village, where it's like no one played. I didn't know what to do. I bought like this old drum set, like secondhand, but I was like too shy to play, and I, didn't really get any support. So it took me a few years until I picked it up and was like, I'm gonna be a drummer. So that's what I remember.
So were you pretty much self-taught then? You taught yourself to play? Did you have lessons or anything?
Yeah, no, I was self-taught. So what happened is that when I was around 15, I joined a band. I still couldn't play barely, but we rehearsed. So that was when I played drums. And I was not good, and it was like death metal. And so I learned to play the drums by playing blast beat and double bass pedal. I didn't know anything about drums.
Wow.
So my playing was horrible. I could only slam the I only slammed the drums like whatever I could reach and how fast I could do it. And I was in this band with this like older dudes with like long hair and dreadlocks, and it was good times, but just like so I didn't take any lessons until I started like this. In Sweden, we call it gymnasium, so we don't have high school. It's
Mhm.
preschool. We call it Swedish gymnasium. And then I went to music class in gymnasium, but I basically didn't attend. I didn't do what the teachers told me, and then I. I still didn't take it seriously because I was only like 16, 17. I was like, oh, it's a party here and I have friends here and like I want to do this instead. And then I kind of neglected the drums a bit. And then I started I applied to a jazz school when I was 18. So I started when I was 19 because I was like, I can only play. I've talked so much. Tell me if I just have to stop.
Keep going, keep going.
Okay, so I'm gonna make the story not too long. So what happened is when I was 18, I figured out I want to become a drummer. And I'm like, I suck at drums. I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'm applying to this jazz music, like boarding school. You live on campus, kind of. And I was like, okay, I need to get good fast. So how am I gonna do it? I'm gonna that. Oh, yeah. Because I couldn't play drums. And then when I went into like the other musicians was so good and everything, so I just started to practice. So when I was 19, I started to practice the drums, and I started to practice. I'm telling you, like, that's like still like I would say I'm pretty much self-taught because I never listened to teachers. I want to do my own thing. I don't listen, like, we don't learn rudiments and stuff like that in the same way here. So
Hmm.
it's just like, I play the drums, took some drum lessons, didn't really listen to the teacher. And today I regret because I would probably have more knowledge about stuff if I did listen. But, you know,
Well,
I,
having
I
heard
had
you
other things on
play,
my mind.
having heard you play, it doesn't. You're certainly not lacking talent or skill, or fit. It sounds amazing. So wherever it's come from and however you've got there, the result is the same, isn't it? Had you been heavily schooled, and who knows, you might have been a totally different drummer these days. You don't know. So I don't think it's a
That is
bad
true.
thing.
But I also want to say, like, when I attended a school in the States 2019, I took the lesson seriously.
Mhm.
Then I learned, they asked me, can you play like inverted paradiddle? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. They're like, can you play a six stroke roll? I'm like, what is a six stroke roll? But you know, some things I could play because they showed it and I was like, oh, is this one? Oh, is this one? But then I learned like to apply names, and I got a really good drum teacher. First time I listened, Fred Dinkins, shout out to you. I listened to him very, very carefully, and he helped me a lot. But that was like only a few years ago.
Mhm.
But I'm still working on changing things that I kind of never learned. That I'm like, oh, wait, maybe I should, learn this, or I should learn this. And, my reading is not that good. I don't know that many rudiments. But, I know other things.
That it's rudiments are, they're kind of important, but they're not everything. There's maybe a handful of rudiments that you kind of need to find your way around a drum kit. But there's I'm looking at a list of 40 of them on the wall, and maybe I use
Is it that
eight
big Fred
at the
poster, the
It
40
is. It
rudiments?
is. It is. I maybe use 8 of
I
them.
think I had it in my practice room at that school, and I never looked at it.
Well, I mean, like an inverted paradiddle. I don't want to get too geeky, but I'm assuming you'd be okay with a standard paradiddle at that point because everyone knows that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Inverted is a different thing altogether, of course, but
Now it's actually, I think that's my favorite.
really. Okay. Yeah, I should have a favorite rudiment section on the podcast. Mine is probably a paradiddle diddle, which I've got into a lot
Ooh.
recently, but it's not about me, so nobody will care about that. But
We
yeah,
should make an episode just about you then.
oh no, no, no! I want people to watch, and they won't watch if it's just me. So, um, yeah. So did you decide to go to America then after finishing your studies in Sweden? Is that what happened?
No, so what happened is that I went to three different music schools. So I kind of, like went to one, and then I went to a better one, and then I went to the best one, or what you want to call it.
Mhm.
And then I started to work as a drummer. 2016, I started freelancing. And then I worked pretty much, it was like full time some part of the year, and during winter, no one plays. So, that how it goes. I was a drum teacher and stuff like that. And then I wanted to go back to practice because I felt like at that point I have just been practicing for a few years. So I was like, I want to go back to the practice room and practice before going back to the stage. Because what happened is that I was not satisfied with my own playing. That happens because
Mhm.
you're tired of your own playing. But I was like, I want to go back to practice. And then I always wanted to go to the States. So I was like, well, maybe some people is going to be like, oh, you're too old now. But I don't care. I did it. And then, everything what happened 2020. So that happened. And then, things didn't exactly go as I planned.
Were you in the US when that happened?
Yeah, I
So I'm
sure
guessing you had
was.
to you had to come home then, I guess.
I tried to ride out the storm, but with like the visa situation and stuff like that, there was literally no future to
Mm,
stay. So I tried. I think it was December 2020. Yeah, I gave up
yeah,
because I didn't want to become like an illegal, you know,
yeah,
all of that
of course.
jam.
Do you know what I have to say though? It's quite a brave move to go from earning your living as a drummer and a teacher to decide to give it all up and go to study some more. That takes some guts to do that. I think I wouldn't do it. So fair
Yeah,
play.
literally, I did kind of get a one-way ticket. Like the only thing I had left in Sweden was one drum set I borrowed to my friend and a box with my tax papers.
Hmm.
I left with my suitcases, my snare drum, and my cymbals. And I didn't plan on returning that quickly.
Yeah.
So it was like I had to build it up again. Started to building up in USA, and then I had to start over when I got back to Sweden, so.
Wow. So what kind of gigs were you doing then before you decided to to go off and do some more studying? What kind of work was it?
It was Swedish pop artists.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So like are these signed acts or are these
Oh yeah,
touring?
yeah. Only major labels,
Mm,
both record labels and booking labels, major. That's majority of the work I do is with major labels.
sure. And
So it's like, yeah, full.
how did you find your way into that? Because obviously, there's lots of drummers about, there's lots of competition.
Yeah.
And there's more and more female drummers these days, which is and more and more incredible ones, which is always great to see. So how did you kind of find your way into that level?
First of all, I practiced a lot. I sacrificed all my time to practice, and then I just started to. This was back in 2015, maybe. I started to say yes to everything and just be like, yeah, I can do that. I want to do this. I do that. And was really like, I was not networking because that's not my good side. So I was literally just, people saw me playing at different occasions, and then some other one saw me, and then someone hired me, and then someone saw that and hired me. So it's like, there is only one way to get jobs in Sweden. It's if they ask you.
Yeah.
Because there is no auditions here, and you cannot like, hey, I'm available. Do you have any work? It's only like, we want to hire you. So
Yeah.
I just try to always deliver my work 120%,
That's
no
the
matter the size of the venue or artist.
Yeah, that's the best way because they've seen you with their own eyes, heard you with their own ears, so they know what they're going to get. They're not having to rely on what somebody else has said. Oh, you should book her. She's really good. That can always be, it's one person's view is always, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. But when they've heard you themselves, that's perfect, isn't it?
But also what I did as well, that I kind of forgot about now, but already like back in 2015, 16, I started to get into hybrid drumming and, making backtracks and stuff like that. So I got the roll and pad and the triggers, and I learned about that, and I learned about how to managing backtracks, keep contact with producers, getting stems, fixing the tracks for rehearsals, playing them during the show, like to make less work for everyone else.
Yeah.
That's what I did a lot. Many unpaid hours to fix these tracks.
You can say it.
I
It's
will say
fine.
that.
You're almost taking on a musical director role there, aren't you? But probably not getting the extra money for it.
I would not say I don't do anything musical. Like in Sweden, you don't really arrange the tracks. You just actually make sure to remove stuff. So I wouldn't say that I was an MD. I just organized the track and made sure that everyone knew their part and, separated the stamps and merged, all that. Sampled my sounds and, yeah. So every time I got a question about a job, I was like ready. It's like, can you do the tracks? Yeah. Let me know, like, give me the numbers to the people and I call them and I take it from there. So like their workload is less.
That's incredible.
And
I mean,
always, and also be reliable.
yeah,
Like don't be lazy and don't screw up in the beginning. You can get lazier later. But it's like in the beginning, if you have to be up for 48 hours to learn something, just do it.
yeah.
When I accepted my first show saying that I would do backtracks, I didn't even know what Logic was. I didn't even know what backtrack was. I was like, yeah, I can do it. and then I was up for like 24 hours YouTubing.
Wow, that's so. So you said yes without having any knowledge of how
Yeah,
to do it. That's
yeah.
amazing. I like that.
It's like I do that a lot of the times. Like I do this. I've done this Persian gig a few years with like a lot of different artists with genres I never played, and they would be like, yeah, can you do this show?" I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" And then I'm like crying of anxiety for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And
That's
then the show has to be played, so I don't have a choice.
that's I see you don't say no to anything musically. It's like, no, it's fine, I can do it.
Yeah.
Is there any is there a style of music that you would say, no, that's not for me? For example, death metal, that's like in your past. Would you do a death metal gig?
No, actually not. I did get an offer to do an audition for like a metal band, and then I actually was like, you know what? Sure, I can practice the double bass for 2 months. I'm not gonna enjoy it. It's not the path I want to take. Kind of tried to see the dollar sign if it was worth it, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to spend 2 months working on my double bass drum pedal,
Yeah.
and then nah. So yeah, there is, but it's very, very few
Yeah.
occasions that happens.
Well, I think that's the best way to if you say yes to everything, if you don't like something, at least you'll know for next time, and you can say, I don't need to do that again. But what is it they say? Don't burn your bridges. Finish on good terms with everybody so that you'll be welcomed back. And I like that approach. I think it's a good, solid
But
way of
I
doing
think
it.
it's also very important, like to, let's say if you say yes to something and you'll be like, okay, shit, maybe I shouldn't said yes. If you're not gonna deliver the gig or your job, that's gonna cost you more. So it's like I think you have to just have some kind of believe that you will do it. You already visualize you're doing the show because that's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. And are you quick at learning material, learning sets and things? Because I I can't do that very quickly at all. I have to write things out, but it's not everybody's way. I appreciate. So
I would say, honestly, I don't know because I don't know where everyone else is at.
mm,
But I think I might be a bit slower than some people since I can write charts very well. I'm just trying to like write my own notes and then I can't read them anyway. But what I do is that I will spend the 3 times amount of time, whatever time it would take me to learn the material, I will do it anyway. Like I wouldn't be lazy. But I think yeah, it's like maybe I'm slower than somebody else, but I would still like do it on time.
yeah, the job is still done. Yeah,
But I cannot hear a song one time, an arrangement, and then nail it.
yeah.
That's I don't work like that. I wish though, but nah.
I think we all wish that, don't we? But and tell me how how has social media, have you found it's helped you, or has it just kind of been something else to do along the way? Because you've got quite a strong presence on Instagram, and you've got your YouTube channel with some covers from a little while ago. So is
On
that
my YouTube
yeah?
channel, I even forgot that that existed.
Oh, it
But
exists.
that's on the very low and like oh,
It's
I
from
don't
a
even
while
know
ago.
that
Yeah.
that it was still there.
Well,
Yeah, social media. I can say that it definitely helped me
hmm,
because my lovely companies that I love most in the whole entire world, they don't really see everything I do in Sweden.
mhm,
So even if I play a lot here and I play the biggest shows in Sweden, you know what I mean? Sweden is a very small country. But anyway, they might not see that. And then my social media, they kind of see what's going on there. And it gives me opportunities that I wouldn't have if I didn't have my Instagram.
sure.
But I'm also very like, I started Instagram just to get more proof to my visa
Oh, okay.
So I had a reason why I did that during COVID because I wanna get the artist visa, and then I was like, if I get a presence on Instagram, that will help my case. And it was COVID, so I was bored, and I was like, maybe I should just try to upload some videos, and then it went really well. But what happened is that you get this like anxiety and you feel so much pressure to deliver content that I kind of let that not get to me anymore. So I don't take. I'm very bad at managing. Like I'm bad at like doing my Instagram now, but I can't let it stress me because I work in real life.
Of course.
I have my shows to think about, and then my Instagram followers maybe don't see that I play these shows. But that's the only money I get no money from social
Sure.
media.
So you have to
So I don't.
prioritize. You have to prioritize what you do.
Yeah, I would love to spend more time on social media if I did get money for it.
Hmm.
But you know, time is money.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
there's no money changing hands for this, so I'm very grateful.
but it's like,
Now,
but yeah, Instagram it definitely helped me. But now it's like I don't let it. If my Instagram will be deleted tomorrow, that can't be the end of my world. You know
sure,
what I mean?
sure.
That's not a healthy way of living. Um, but yeah,
Well, that's really good. And as you say, it keeps your companies happy because I know you're with Pearl and I'm going to say it's Zildjian. Did I get that right? Oh,
Siljan,
that's all right then.
Big Firth, Roland, Remo, and
Wow,
then some other companies.
fantastic. It's they, that it keeps them happy, doesn't it? Because they need endorsement deals are very different these days, and it's massively about social media. So I think you're doing the right thing. But
Yeah,
equally, as you say, you've got to do your gigs, you've got to do your tours, and that's got to prioritize, hasn't it? Or take priority, I should say.
yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, I
I
think like
saw,
yeah, work in real life has to be the priority.
yeah, absolutely, you have to pay bills. Now I saw some exciting news the other day. I think it was announced last week that you are doing the main stage at the UK Drum Show in September. How does that
Yeah,
feel?
it's crazy.
Is that something that you're going to look forward
If
to?
I'm so scared and nervous. I am so excited, and I'm honestly also like, why me? I feel, but don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful and thankful, but I'm like, shit, I got a show to deliver. But I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna do my absolute best on that stage.
Don't doubt that for a second. And is a clinics something you do or have done before, or is this something that's new to you?
It's pretty. I did the bag show 2021, and then I've done some clinics at music schools here. But usually I don't see myself as like a solo drummer or a clinic drummer in that way. That's not my special area. But I'm also looking forward to maybe change that and work on that because I do think it's really fun. I mean, I can play whatever I want to. I never get to do that. But also, I know how nervous I am when there's no other people on the stage.
Yeah.
It's just me. I'm like, where is everyone?
Oh, there'll be plenty of people watching, so don't worry about
Yeah.
that. It's
Maybe they
huge.
can be on stage with me.
Maybe just sitting around cross-legged on the floor. That would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they'd allow that. That'd be
That would be new though.
it would. um, but the good thing is clinics, I think, are changing a little bit at the moment. It used to be about solos and kind of showing off. These days, I think it's more about playing songs in the style that you are, if you like, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's about blistering drum solos anymore, which is it's more about music, I think, these days, personally.
Yeah. Hopefully what I'm gonna play at the UK drum show will be liked. So
And do you like the interaction with the audience? Do you like the questions and answers and things and that kind of thing? Or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but
because
it's only like sometimes when they don't want to ask questions. That's been like, when you have music students. And then I always been like pretending to ask myself questions so they can like let loose. So it depends on like the audience. If they be like, oh, I want to ask this, I want to ask this. Or if everyone is just like, okay, so does someone have any questions? And everyone is silent.
it won't happen in Liverpool. Trust me, it won't.
Okay,
There's always questions. So you'll have a great
that's
time.
good.
And I think, I've written it down. You are on Sunday, the 29th, 12:45 main stage. So
Yeah, that sounds correct.
hopefully I'll be along for that one. I'll be able to see it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know I'll be there, but it depends. I
People
might.
are gonna be so hungover when I play.
No, no. Do you know what? I don't think so. It opens at 10. It'll be fine. You'll wake them up.
Oh, oh,
Um,
then they have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Absolutely. They don't drink in Liverpool.
Oh, they don't?
Yeah, I
I've
think.
been to Liverpool.
Yeah, yeah. So look, let's talk about the current tour that you're on. I mean, Zara Larsson, I mean, is huge world over. I mean, obviously a fellow Swede. Um,
Hmm.
does that make it a better experience for you, knowing that you got a fellow country person in the band? Is the whole band Swedish, or are they from all
No,
over?
no, they're from UK.
Oh wow, okay, amazing.
So it's like the dancers are from UK, the band is from UK, but like the front of house and monitor and backline and is from Sweden, and the guy who is doing the MIDI playback, he's from Norway.
Hmm.
And then like the label production company is from Sweden.
Sure.
So we have some Swedes, and then we have some other like English road managers, and then we have the
Yeah, sure.
majority is actually English people.
Ah, right, okay. So does it help? Is it nice that you're able to kind of speak in your own language comfortably with Zara? Does that help, or does that not really matter?
Yeah, but I think we usually speak English because
Okay.
if it's other people around to show respect.
Yeah, sure, sure.
And
Yeah.
then, you do this awkward thing where you kind of start to speak English and then you realize it's Swedish and then you feel dumb because you pretended to be international and then it's like, oh my God, I just sound so stupid right now.
And it must be a fun gig because it's pretty high energy. I'm assuming everything's to click, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it is.
And you kind of get to flex your muscles a little bit, don't you? And you get to go for it. And I've seen some footage live, and it looks like lots of fun to do.
Yeah, it's a really fun show. It's barely time to drink water.
And what size kind of venues are you doing? Does it vary from sort of town to town?
Yeah, yeah. So this tour, the Venus tour, has been mixed venues depending on what country. Capacity has been up to 6,000, and then the festival in Netherlands we did a few weeks ago, I think it was 18,000,
Wow.
and then summer will be a lot more, I think.
And this, I was when I first heard your playing, I was really impressed with the groove, the way it feels. If I think you're kind of groove over chops all day long. It's how the song feels rather than just playing notes. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Mm.
because my job is to serve the artist, is to serve the song, and that's basically play four on the floor majority of set. And so I think that's also like that's what I'm practicing. And then yeah, I just love to play a groove.
Well, you do it very well, and it's just always
Thank
sounds
you.
really comfortable and just as it should be. It'd be quite
Appreciate
easy
that.
to overplay, and Chops has a place, but not where some not not somewhere like that for me personally.
I don't think you should play chops in case they aren't asked for.
Mm, yeah,
Until they're not asked for, I don't like. I do my job, serve the song, and if they say, "Can you play something more?" Yes. But if I would go in and start to chop around here, I would not be sitting here today and playing
yeah,
with artists. At least how it works in Sweden, in my opinion.
yeah. I think that's a worldwide thing, really. I think so. I'd hope so. Anyway, you can save the chops for September for the UK drum show. They'll be welcomed there.
Yes.
Oh, dear me. And are you over in the UK at all with a tour? Have you done the UK leg yet? Or
Yeah, we did. We started in UK, so we did rehearsals in UK for total of 2 weeks,
yeah,
and then we started. Yeah, we did Glasgow and Birmingham and Manchester. Am I lying? No, we were in Manchester, and then London. Maybe it was somewhere else, and I forgot. Sorry about that. And then we went to Europe, and
yeah,
then Iceland. Yeah.
amazing stuff. And have you got any sort of plans for the future that, or is it just more of the same, gigging, working with great artists?
I don't know if I should be talking about this or not, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I really want to go back to the States with the right work visa
Hmm.
and be a drummer in the States.
Really?
Everyone, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God, I want to leave Sweden.
Wow.
Last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
There it
I
is.
really want to be back in the States.
Breaking news. So
I
where
don't think people know that because I never tell them about that because I don't know how much you should talk about it.
it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously it's where you're from, it's home, but is it more opportunities in the States? Is that what it is? Or just,
It's because I want to play country music.
oh, right, okay. Right. Not much of
I want
that
to
going
play
on in
pop country
Sweden.
music, and I don't know if people know that either. Like that's my biggest dream to like be a drummer in Nashville and play
Wow.
country.
So it would be Nashville that you'd go to then rather than Los Angeles.
I want to go to LA because of the weather,
Yeah.
but I could go to Nashville or LA or both. I really don't mind.
Wow. Well, this is amazing. We've had a whole bunch of firsts there, the breaking news in the last 5 minutes. So, well, look, Lina, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and
Thank you.
best of luck the tour with Zara Larsson. Hopefully, we'll get to catch up at the UK Drum Show. It'd be nice to see you in person,
Yeah, yeah.
and let's hope your dream of playing country music in America pans out for you. And
Thank you.
yeah, so thanks once again. I really appreciate it. So, the best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.